Chapter 1: The Emergence of the Joker. In the bustling metropolis of Havencrest, a city known for its gleaming skyscrapers and vibrant nightlife, a sinister presence was beginning to take root. Unbeknownst to the city's residents, a new and terrifying figure was emerging from the shadows. He called himself the Joker, a name that would soon become synonymous with fear and death. The Joker's first victim was discovered on a chilly November morning. Officer Kate Marlowe, a seasoned detective with the Havencrest Police Department, was called to the scene. The body of a young woman was found in an alleyway, her face contorted in a grotesque smile, a playing card, the Joker, placed delicately in her hand. The message was clear: a new player had entered the deadly game of life and death. Kate studied the card, her brow furrowing. This wasn't just a murder, it was a statement. The Joker wanted the city to know that he was here and that he was just getting started. Chapter 2: The investigation begins. The Havencrest Police Department was thrown into a state of high alert. Captain Richard Banks assembled a task force, and Kate was appointed the lead detective. She was known for her sharp mind and relentless pursuit of justice, and she knew that catching the Joker would require every ounce of her skill and determination. The Joker's killings were methodical and gruesome. Each victim was left with the same grotesque smile, a Joker card placed in their hand. The city was gripped by fear, and the media fueled the panic with sensational headlines and 24/7 coverage. Kate and her team scoured the crime scenes for clues, but the Joker was meticulous. He left no fingerprints, no DNA, and no traceable evidence. It was as if he was a ghost, slipping in and out of the shadows at will. The only thing they had to go on were the Joker cards, each one bearing a different cryptic message. Chapter 3: The Joker's Past. Unbeknownst to the police, the Joker had once been an ordinary man named Jonathan Cade. He grew up in a broken home, with an abusive father and a neglectful mother. From a young age, Jonathan learned to mask his pain with humor, using jokes and laughter as a shield against the darkness that surrounded him. As he grew older, Jonathan's humor took on a darker tone. He became obsessed with the idea of turning pain into laughter, of making people smile even as they suffered. This obsession led him down a twisted path, and eventually, he snapped. He abandoned his old life, taking on the persona of the Joker, and dedicated himself to spreading his dark brand of humor across Havencrest. Chapter 4: A Deadly Game. The Joker reveled in the chaos he was creating. He watched the news reports with glee, laughing at the panic and fear that gripped the city. But he was not content to simply kill. He wanted to play a game with the police, to prove his superiority and outsmart them at every turn. He began leaving more elaborate clues at his crime scenes, taunting Kate and her team with riddles and puzzles. Each clue led to the next victim, creating a deadly scavenger hunt that kept the police on their toes. Kate spent countless sleepless nights poring over the clues, her mind racing to stay one step ahead of the Joker. Despite their best efforts, the body count continued to rise. The Joker seemed to anticipate their every move, always staying one step ahead. The city was on the brink of hysteria, and Kate felt the weight of every life lost pressing down on her shoulders. Chapter 5: The Joker Strikes Close to Home. One night, as Kate returned home after another long day, she found a package waiting for her on her doorstep. Inside was a Joker card, identical to the ones left at the crime scenes, but this one had her name written on it in blood-red ink. A chill ran down her spine as she realized that the Joker was watching her, that she had become a part of his twisted game. Kate's fear quickly turned to anger. She refused to be intimidated, to let the Joker win. She doubled down on her efforts, determined to catch him and put an end to his reign of terror. But the Joker was not done with her yet. He began targeting people close to her, friends and colleagues, each one a personal message meant to break her spirit. The final straw came when the Joker abducted Kate's younger sister, Emily. Kate received a video message from the Joker, showing Emily tied to a chair, her face twisted into the same grotesque smile. The Joker's voice, distorted and mocking, echoed through the room. "Hello, Detective Marlowe. I hope you're enjoying our little game. I've decided to raise the stakes. Your sister's life is now in your hands." Solve my riddles, find the clues, and maybe you'll save her. But hurry, the clock is ticking. Chapter 6, The Ultimate Showdown. With her sister's life on the line, Kate's resolve hardened. She knew she had to catch the Joker, not just for the city, but for Emily. She gathered her team and explained the situation, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her insides. The Joker's clues led them on a frantic chase across the city, each one more complex and dangerous than the last. Kate's mind raced as she deciphered the riddles, pushing herself to the limit. She couldn't afford to make a mistake, Emily's life depended on it. As they neared the final location, a sense of dread settled over Kate. The Joker had led them to an abandoned amusement park on the outskirts of the city, a place that had long been shrouded in rumors and ghost stories. The park was a maze of decaying rides and empty stalls, the perfect setting for the Joker's final act. Chapter 7, The Climax. The team spread out, searching for any sign of Emily. Kate's heart pounded in her chest as she made her way through the eerie park, the sound of her footsteps echoing in the silence. She rounded a corner and found herself facing the entrance to the funhouse, its garish facade twisted into a sinister grin. Taking a deep breath, Kate stepped inside. The funhouse was a labyrinth of mirrors and dark corridors, designed to confuse and disorient. The Joker's laughter echoed through the halls, taunting her at every turn. She pushed forward, determined to find Emily and end this nightmare. At the heart of the funhouse, Kate found a small room. Emily was there, tied to a chair, her eyes wide with fear. The Joker stood behind her, his face hidden behind a grotesque mask. He clapped his hands in mock applause as Kate entered. "Bravo, Detective Marlowe. You've made it to the final act. But can you save your sister? Let's find out." The Joker brandished a knife, pressing it to Emily's throat. Kate's mind raced as she tried to think of a way to save her sister without endangering her further. Chapter 8, The Resolution. Kate took a step forward, her voice steady despite the terror she felt. "Let her go, Joker. This ends now." The Joker laughed, a high-pitched, maniacal sound that sent chills down her spine. "Oh, I don't think so. You see, Detective, I've always been one step ahead. But I must admit, this has been quite the game. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a choice. You can save your sister, or you can catch me. Choose wisely." Kate's mind raced. She knew that if she tried to apprehend the Joker, Emily's life would be at risk. But if she let him go, there was no telling how many more lives he would take. Desperation turned into resolve. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small device. It was a tracking beacon, one that she had secretly attached to the Joker's first clue. She pressed the button, and a faint beep sounded. "I've already chosen," she said, her voice firm. "You're done, Joker." The Joker's eyes widened in realization. Before he could react, the sound of sirens filled the air. The police had surrounded the funhouse, and a team of officers stormed inside, guns drawn. The Joker, realizing he was cornered, made a desperate move. But Kate was quicker. She lunged forward, tackling the Joker to the ground. The knife clattered to the floor, and the officers quickly subdued him, handcuffing him and leading him away. Chapter 9, The Aftermath. Emily was safe, and the Joker was finally behind bars. The city of Havencrest could breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that the reign of terror was over. Kate stood outside the funhouse, watching as the sun began to rise, casting a golden light over the park. She knew that the scars of this ordeal would take time to heal, both for herself and for the city. But she also knew that they had won a hard-fought victory. The Joker's twisted game was over, and justice had prevailed. In the months that followed, the story of the Joker became a part of Havencrest's dark history. The media dubbed him the Clown of Death, and his name became synonymous with fear and madness. But for Kate and her team, the victory was bittersweet. They had stopped a monster, but the memories of his reign of terror would haunt them forever. Kate returned to her work, determined to protect her city from any future threats. She knew that evil would always exist, lurking in the shadows, waiting for its chance to strike. but she also knew that as long as there were people willing to stand up and fight, there was hope. The Joker's legacy would be one of fear, but it would also be a reminder of the strength and resilience of those who faced him and prevailed. And in the end, that was the true victory.
Don't forget to subscribe.